Can we reproduce a viral hit, or is it all just a matter of luck mixed with ad spend? Our guests today are going to answer that question to help you make your next viral hit. Stay tuned. It's the Business of Video podcast.
You're listening to the Business of Video podcast, where the world's top YouTubers and marketers talk about what's working with online video. This podcast is recorded live on Facebook every week, and you can join us when you visit businessofvideopodcast.com. Now your host, Owen Video.
Welcome back to the Business of Video podcast. I'm Owen Video, helping your small business grow with online video. You can check me out at thevideospot.net. And I'm joined here today, as always, by my infamous co-host.
Wow, the infamous?
And world-famous YouTuber Nick Nimmin at nicknimmin.com. Nick, how are you, buddy?
I am doing fantastic, Owen. You know, I got to say that that I'm loving the energy today. You know, like I feel pumped. I can tell. I can just see the smile on your face, and I know that you feel pumped. And, you know, like the guys that are coming on, I mean, this is going to be an exciting show today. All types of awesome information being shared about video, which we're obsessed with. So I am pumped up.
We want to give a big shout out to our show sponsor today. The show today is brought to you by the Video Marketing Toolkit. Look, does your business want to make videos that make sales? Well, that can be super hard to do unless you know the step-by-step process and psychology for making great videos. Now, I've compiled that information into my Video Marketing Toolkit, and you can get my top-performing scripts, formatting, thumbnails, and even more in the Video Marketing Toolkit. For a limited time, you can get the entire toolkit for free. Just visit thevideospot.net/toolkit. That's thevideospot.net/toolkit. We have a very special segment that we like to call our Sherifiers. That's right, folks. Each week we select a new member of our audience, just like you, to give praise and acknowledgement and shout out to. So today we want to acknowledge one of our listeners who took the time and clicked the shared button to share our show on Facebook or Twitter. We got to give a big shout out today to Nicole Schieffer.
Hi, I'm Nicole Schieffer. I'm a former stay-at-home crunchy mom that now helps marketers win. You can find me at www.nicoleschieffer.com. And I am thrilled to be this week's share sponsor of Business of Videos podcast.
We want to talk about the news. Periscope increases creator revenue split, and they will offer holiday bonuses. Nick, this is a really neat thing. Now, I'm not a big Periscope user. What about you?
No, I'm actually experimenting. I was experimenting today with multicasting using Switchboard Live, I think it is. And yeah. I was routing through Periscope as one of those options. And I'm just not, I think I've went live on Periscope maybe 4 times, and every single time it was experimental. It wasn't like a, hey, I'm going live. It was a, hey, let me test this and see, you know, how it works and all that stuff. But as far as Periscope is concerned, that is definitely not something that at this point in time that I'm using on a regular basis, but that does not mean that I'm not going to in the future.
Right. We're not saying because I'm not a big Periscope user either, but it is a large platform with a very engaged user base. And the fact that they're going to be increasing their revenue share and offering holiday bonuses, I think is pretty cool. Here's what the article says. This is coming from socialblade.com. Starting today, Periscope creators will receive all of the revenue generated from Super Hearts used during their broadcast, minus a $1 administration fee every time they cash out. The Twitter company previously took a 30% cut of the revenue. It's worth noting, however, that Periscope pays creators based on the revenue generated after Apple and Google's app stores take their cut, which is also about 30%. This announcement puts the company on par with YouTube's Super Chat feature, which also takes 30%. So, Periscope users have this Super Heart feature that now, rather than paying like 30% on top of 30%, it's just like $1 to pull the cash out. So I think that's a pretty neat feature.
I think that's fantastic. And you know what? Listen, anybody listening to this right now, because this is about the business of video, which includes income. Let me tell you something. Super Chat and things like this, they can add up to money over the course of the year. They can add up to car payments. They can add up monthly car payments. They can add up to rent, mortgage payments. They can add up to new shirts. You know what I mean? They can. I mean, the money that you can generate from Super Chats and all that stuff as your audience grows, as your influence grows, and all of that stuff. The money that you can generate from that is pretty profound if you can think of how you can add value to the other side. Because if
that might be a good episode for us to dig into in the future, because I'm live once a week as you are. And we've sort of talked offline about the revenues we generate from Super Chat. I mean, the revenue you're generating from Super Chat really just dwarfs mine. And I'm grateful for all of it, but it's more like mine's like a tip jar.
Sure.
A couple bucks here, a couple bucks there. But I know creators like you and Roberto Blake, I mean, this is real revenue. I know Roberto Blake is earning more with Super Chat than I was earning, in my first couple jobs out of college. So these things really can add up.
Yeah, absolutely they can. And I think that people thinking that, well, if I go live and, people are tipping $5 here, $5 there, $20 here, $20 there, just don't underestimate it. That's what I'm getting at is it adds up, and it adds up really fast, especially, if you're going to be going live for an hour or something like that, and if you can think of how to actually provide a service of some kind around your stream. So in addition to it just being a tip jar, you can actually do something for the people that are watching your streams. It can really start to add up quick.
Yeah, that's a great point. And as we wrap up the news today, here's my final thoughts. It's great to see that these platforms are realizing that it is the creators, the people that are doing the video, who drive the revenue. And this sort of partnerizing, making you more of a shareholder in the wealth, is a positive thing. Now, this is big news even for those of you who are business owners and entrepreneurs, because on top of being able to sell your products and services, Super Chat and Super Heart revenue splits help you to offset the cost of your video production and your ad spend. So don't discount it. Don't go on there and say, well, I'm a business owner, I don't really need the Super Chat money. If you can get this extra few $100s rolling in a month, I mean, that can pay for your editing. That can pay for your Facebook ads. And, like you said, it could pay eventually at someday for a car payment. So big Air 5 to Periscope for this move. And that does it for the news today. Today, we have a very exciting guest, Bryce. I'm going to call him Bryce Jergy and Skylar Bruner. These two guys are fantastic. They run an agency called HowThingsGoViral.com. They've worked with tons of brands, tons of influencers. They have mastered the art of making viral videos. Bryce and his wife Nellie are a family of two. They just found out they're pregnant, and it's actually his wife's birthday today. They are inspiring others to live their life to the fullest. They have their own video blog on Facebook, which they upload weekly. Bryce has made numerous videos go viral, which you have probably seen, and he even wrote the book called How Things Go Viral. So we want to introduce and welcome to the show Bryce and Skylar. What's up, guys? Great to see you today.
What's going on?
What's going on, Owen? It's good seeing you at Midsummer.
It's so good to see you. Now, Bryce.
Yes.
We call you Jergy. How do you pronounce your first name or your full name?
So yeah, Jurgensmeyer is my last name, but I've just gone with Jergy because it goes better with our handle and everything else. So
Easy to remember. Too.
Easier to remember, yeah.
Yeah, I totally get it. I mean, I was born Owen Hemsath, but it's just not memorable. So hence Owen Video. And Skylar, yeah, awesome to see you guys here on the show. Tell us a little bit about what you guys do in your own words.
Yeah, so I mean, you did a great job summing up a lot of that. But basically, we engineer super shareable growth hacking videos for creators, for brands, for individuals. So, and they've been dubbed obviously viral videos. That's like the bane of our existence. And so, like you mentioned, my wife and I have our channel. We actually just filmed a gender reveal video this morning that's going to go live on Saturday. But so we do viral videos on our own stuff, but Skylar and I every day, every week are working with brands and engineering viral videos in the background for them.
And how did you guys get started working?
Nice. That's an awesome thing. Just getting in there and getting those creative juices going like that. So how do you first get started into doing what it is that you do? Like your creative process is what I mean. Like, okay, so you get a client and the client says, hey, we want this, we want you to make something viral for us. What's the first step in your creative process?
That's a really good question. Yeah, the first step is, we like to step back and do a little research and figure out who their market is and their audience, and actually go online and research and figure out what it is they're talking about, what they're sharing. Because if we're going to create a video and we want it to land in their market, we need to first figure out what people are talking about that are interested in the product. So
yeah, both coming from agency backgrounds, and Skylar was in the feature film industry. He was in LA for a good while, making perfect stories. A lot of people get caught up on where are people spending their time online, where are they buying stuff, and where are their eyeballs. We focus more on what are they sharing, what are they talking about on their own accord, and we dig into that research so that we can just naturally take what they're already doing and weave the brand into that with some form of content.
That's awesome. And we are going to dig into that in our show today. We're super glad that you guys are here. So let's kind of dig in, guys, a little bit. And let's start at the very beginning. Why should you strive to go viral?
yeah, that's a really good question. Virality can do a lot for you. I will say this.
Huge.
Yeah, huge. In fact, there's a really famous YouTuber that said that virality can do for you what nothing else can. And before we go into that, I do want to say, I think a lot of people get caught up on virality, which is great, but virality is a means to an end goal. And I think as long as you keep that in mind, you're good to go. But anyway, yeah, why should someone go viral? Well, I think there's a lot of reasons for that. Number one, if you're trying to sell a product, or if you're trying to bring awareness to a brand or some kind of a movement or just some kind of an idea, virality can bring the masses to that quickly. You can reach a lot more people, outside of your immediate reach, if that makes sense. And then, of course, there's, there's the monetary side of that. It doesn't stop at your marketing budget, right? So viral content has legs to keep moving even after your marketing budget is spent. So that's what's great about it.
And a huge plus to that. I mean, there's definitely a need with doing promotional pieces and scalable ads that you can do to convert with sales. When something's viral and shareable, you immediately have that huge word of mouth marketing. So maybe your video is nothing about, it's barely about your key brand messaging, but it goes viral. Everyone's talking about the video, but subconsciously it's received that they're talking about you and your brand. And so you've created this island for everyone to hang out online, and they become more favorable to you and a warm lead for the next sale if they don't convert right then. And it goes way beyond, like Skylar said, your initial reach.
Now, can you help us to understand a little bit about when is a video gone viral? Like at what point is it viral? You know what I mean? Is it like one man's viral is another man's organic? Talk to us a little bit about that.
That's a good question. We like to say if we're working with someone that has 5-10 million followers and their video gets 5-10 million views, it didn't go viral. It reached their reach. So to us, it's what goes exponentially beyond what your current following is, where you can see the spike of people naturally sharing it of their own accord that never knew about you.
Mhm.
Or even if they did and they're not like dedicated to all of your videos or your content, but this one just really strikes a chord with them.
Yeah, viral content is shareable content.
Yeah.
So a good way to measure that is to look at the shares and also look at the comments and see if people are tagging a friend and saying, "This is us," or "Man, you totally got to see this." You know that you've kind of hit that level of virality.
Because everyone knows you can buy views, but you can't pay for shares. And I mean, you can pay people you can't pay people to share a post or to do ad sponsored things, but for the organic, just tagging friends and sharing, that's a good indicator to us and to anyone if it's going viral. Yeah.
Awesome. That's awesome. So talk to us about some of the projects you've worked on that we might know. What are some projects you guys have worked on that we've seen before? There's one in my mind specifically. I'm sure you'll bring it up. It's actually moved me almost to tears. Now, I'm a crier. All right. So it's out there. It's out there for the world to know. But talk to us about some of the projects you guys have worked on so that we can get that visual of what a viral video actually is.
I'm super curious what one you're talking about.
Yeah, I want to know which one you're talking about.
John Cena and Cricket Wireless.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know, for me, watching kids experience that kind of joy, to me, I have 4 kids of my own, so that just moved me. Watching these kids meet someone that they really loved so much was phenomenal. Maybe talk about that one. Introduce us to a couple, another piece that you might have worked on.
Okay, so yeah, that one was this was what? How long ago?
It's like a year and a half.
Yeah, a year and a half ago on this one with Cricket Wireless had access to John Cena, which is awesome. And whenever you have access with someone with a big influence, there's a lot of different directions you can take it. And so in our research, we actually found that there were more articles about the charity work that John Cena has done, how he's fulfilled more Make-A-Wish wishes, and how he's a rapper and obviously wrestling. Yes, he's a rapper. And most people should know that. Right? But as we were finding that research, those were where more of the articles were, but where people were actually talking and tagging friends and sharing about John Cena was the interrupting John Cena meme, where like everyone's talking and I'm going to just go out here until Skylar interrupts me, but they're talking.
John Cena!
Yeah. You've seen those memes and those videos, that's what everyone was sharing on their own. And people were spending hours creating these video edits to lead to John Cena. In fact, there's still some that are happening in the last few months. And so we knew that it's got to be about that. Even though there's way more articles about the charity work and about his wrestling, it's got to be what people are sharing. So that's a huge thing that I think we did right with that campaign. When at Shareability, we were doing that campaign, and that was awesome to see the success. So it naturally took off.
Yeah, and we actually closed down the subreddit of the John Cena meme in Reddit. I think the author of the Reddit was like, "That's it, boys, we're closing shop. There will never be a better meme." So
it's since opened up, but they did close it down for a while just because of the hype.
Just good bragging rights for you guys.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, I saw something about cats having dinner.
Yeah, so that's another one that we did. 13 dogs and a cat eating holiday feast is what it's called, fresh holiday feast. And that was an interesting project. We had a client, Fresh Pet, come and they wanted to show the freshness of their food, but they wanted obviously a viral video. Well,
and if it's just about fresh food, no one's gonna share this.
Yeah.
Look at this cat food.
So it was really fun. But yeah, we had we struggled with that because we're like, okay, well, we don't want to brand it too much, but we want to show that it's fresh. And as we were doing some research online, we found a lot of people sharing these videos of dogs and cats eating meals with human hands, but no one had done it on a large scale. And so we, amongst ourselves, we're like, what if? And there's something bad going to happen when you say what if, something great.
Yeah.
But we said, what if we did it on a large scale and have a ton of animals over for a holiday feast? And so, yeah, we actually had, 14 animals at the table at the same time. Bryce was actually under the table with some of them.
Yeah, I was. I think Nellie, my wife, she was there just to help a little bit, and we had to have her down too. And the whole time, these dogs are chowing down on fresh food, and so you could just imagine the fumes under the table.
It was bad.
It was just great.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. And so just to kind of give the visual to the audience, like what the audience sees is a whole bunch of dogs and cats at a table, and then human hands kind of like coming through the shirt, right?
Yeah, it was like choreographed. We had twin German shepherds with glasses wearing ugly Christmas sweaters. We had the ant, the classic ant with like a little pet puppy.
Yeah,
we had
Mauser.
at the head of the table a cat that was just staring at everyone in disgust and disbelief at their behavior. So it was a typical. We also made sure to implement. I mean, yes, we have the shareable factor. If you have, they say don't film with pets and kids because they're hard.
We do it all the time.
That's what's shareable because that's one of our principles. Whenever you have children or pets, it's very hard to not capture authenticity.
Yeah.
And so we have the authentic factor, but we also wanted to create conversation pieces for all different types of people to share this video. So we had the dog texting on the phone so that parents could relate to their kids. We had the couple so that couples could relate. We had
that actually ties into one of the principles of what makes something go viral. Relevant. You know, number one, you're relating to people, you're relevant to them, but then also emotion, infusing strong emotion.
Yeah, that one we mixed a lot into.
So we made sure that as we were planning out each character at the dinner table, that it was funny, or there was some kind of strong emotional hook for a viewer, no matter who you are. There was something there for you. So whether it's that drunk uncle or the foreign student at the table.
That's true.
So
I forgot about that one. Yeah, that was classic.
That's awesome. You know, I think that's what we really want to dig into today is sort of like those principles of going viral. But before we do that, we want to go to some of our audience. Leroy Dixon, who runs the Animal Facts channel, is saying, dogs and kids, good to know, LOL. He totally gets it. He's growing a big channel on that. Valerie Fain is saying that video, the cats and dogs animal video is like 11.7 million views. So
on Freshpet's YouTube page it is. On Facebook, it's now over 90 million. But it's been circulated at different places.
It's been picked up on different pages too, and that was back in the day before there was the cross-posting. So I mean, you have to search, but there are like 3 or 4 pages with like 20 million views each on it. So
yeah, but good try, Valerie. Yeah.
And do you guys?
You know, I have to ask, if you don't mind me kind of derailing it here. Like when I watch comedy and I see like viral videos and things like that, I always think in the planning process of this stuff, it has to be a riot. Like when you guys are sitting around the table and you're coming up with some of this stuff, can you explain to me? Just kind of help me visualize what that's like, as far as, you know, you guys giving each other a hard time, or just somebody saying something, then everybody has to leave the room because they're laughing so hard. I mean, how does that go down?
Yeah, I actually was.
We need to have you come on one of our creative sessions.
Yeah,
I'd love to.
Whenever everyone's like getting into it and laughing, we're like, oh yeah, this is already going to be good. There's something here, and that was a lot with this one.
It's really funny because we'll all sit there with our computers and you'll just hear several YouTube videos going on because, I mean, let's be honest, we're video makers, so we go to video for inspiration, right? And so everybody's like, hey, did you see this? Hey, did you see this? Hey, did you see this? And, you know, we talked a little bit about this before with the initial, how do you approach an idea? Well, we do the research. What is my audience sharing? So we'll start with that and create an outline, and then it's free flow creative at that point. Mm-hmm. Whatever you can find, let's just mesh ideas together. And
no limits. It's just here's what we see works with this kind of audience. Just plaster on the wall right now until we find that. Yeah, and go with it.
So fun and
nice.
So-
Yeah, I bet that's just gut splitting. I bet that process. I mean, you have to love what you do. You know what I mean? Because you sit there and, you know, you guys are at the table and you get to come up with this stuff and just crack up all day, you know, in the planning process. I bet that's just an amazing experience to
for the longest time, my wife actually didn't see that my profession was actually like a legitimate profession. She just thought I went to work and played until recently. Now she understands it. But yeah, like just like you said, she's like, you just play. I mean, I sit here at the kids, you just play. So.
And then to that point too, we it's gut splitting. It's so fun coming up with the idea, but then we always bring it back to what's our end goal with this one.
Sure.
It can apply at various things. Is this to do sales? Is this for awareness? Is this for warm leads? this to get subscribers? And so that's, it all just kind of flows, and we keep ourselves in check with it.
That's great.
That's cool.
Guys, for those of you watching live on Facebook, if you've got questions for our guests, for me or for Nick, please ask them in the comments area. We're going to get to them in just a couple minutes. And don't forget to share this video with your favorite business owner. Bryce and Skylar, talk to us about the process. How do you construct or engineer a viral video?
Awesome question.
That was really good. Well, through our experience, I'll be honest, when we first started out, a lot of it was just gut, and we still rely a lot on our gut. Your gut is your best friend, by the way.
If you don't love it, if you're not going to share it, then that's if you're in the target demographic, that's an indicator. Yeah,
you've got to be willing to chop off your arm and step away and say, okay, would I really share this? And be honest. But yeah, at the beginning when we first started, we were figuring it out, but through the experience, we've been able to engineer, I guess, a set of 6 principles that kind of guide our creative process.
And this comes from hundreds and hundreds of campaigns of reverse engineering. So we would find videos that go viral. We still do that now. It's a practice in our company of what videos are popping. Okay, let's reverse engineer this. Try and locate. Was it because of a tweet from Jimmy Kimmel that the double rainbow video took off? Was it because of a Reddit post? Was it because of the trend? And so as we're always reverse engineering that and then getting these successful campaigns, they all funnel into these 6 principles.
Yeah. So, the 6 principles, you want me to, we can just talk about those now, right?
Yeah, let's expand on that.
Yeah.
What are the 6 principles of going viral?
The 6 principles of virality is we like to call parent. And I'll list it out for you here. So platform specific, authentic, relevant, emotion, newness and wowness factor, and timely. Those are the 6 factors, principles that we use as we're developing and engineering viral videos.
So platform specific. Some examples of that. You can have a video on YouTube that blows up and does really well, and if you take the exact same edits and the same format, so it's a landscape-wide video, and you put it on Facebook, it won't do the same just because of the culture. So platform-specific, once you have the idea or the video is already filmed, look at the platform and find out what's being successful and tailor it to that. And a good example of that, the school system. You were with that one, right? But here's a good example. Prince EA did a video, and it was titled he sued the school system pretty much. And this was a project that Shareability did, and it blew up, got millions and millions of views, and he took the exact same video and uploaded it on Facebook, and it still did really well. Someone else took the video and put it in box format with meme text, letterboxing above and below, and subtitles were burned into the video. Yeah, phenomenally bigger reach.
It's 10 times as many.
Yeah, 10 times easy. Wow. So we're talking instead of 14 million views, 145 million views, millions of shares. And that's a big difference that you can't ignore. Both uploaded around the same time, just because you go with what the audience is used to. Again, we're going on shareable factor. So what are people, you want to get into their conversations and not take them out of their conversation.
Yeah, and you need to understand the platform that you're posting to too. I mean, YouTube, is a place where people come to be entertained. Facebook's more of a discovery platform. So if you're not quick in telling them exactly what they're going to get right up quick on Facebook, you're going to lose them. Especially since what's the stat, 60% or 70% of videos played on Facebook are without audio?
Yeah,
so,
5%.
How much?
I thought it was 85%.
Yeah, it's increased.
That's a lot. So, having that meme text on there really made the difference for that particular video.
And burn subtitles as well. And that'll change. This is a principle that the principle is the same, platform specific, but always look at what's being successful in that platform currently.
Talk about.
Do you guys find typically on Facebook? Do you find typically that structuring the videos that way, like the visual presentation, as far as doing it kind of a meme style? Do you get more success overall doing it that way on Facebook? Pretty much every single time.
Yeah. I I think for the most part, I think there was like a 60 or 70% increase in watch and views.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, and then I mean, so it's a factor of it, right? Obviously, the content's still important. So some people are like, well, I did that, but it didn't do as well. So, but yes, it's huge benefit there.
Yeah.
We're getting some good questions here too.
Authenticity factor, then. What does that mean?
Cool. So in the marketing and advertising world, brands always want to get their key messaging perfect, which they should, and we understand that and respect that. So a lot of times they want to plan everything out just like a normal production where everything goes right. So, oh, we need someone to laugh at this point. We'll film someone laughing, and the audience can tell. The BS radar is at the prime, and so we've actually it was a fun transition when we're working with amazing producers and directors, and they'd be like, oh yeah, let's get cast for that, and we're like, no, we're just going to do this in the street. Like, well, what if we don't get? Yeah, they're like, well, what if we don't get the reactions? Perfect, because whatever we get is what we want. And that's the hard part, is that people want to plan out everything to the T. So we plan out as much as you can, but we purposely plan area and room for reactions that you can't plan. Because when the viewer knows, oh, this was happening in the moment and it was captured versus prepared,
right.
It does way better.
Another element to authenticity too is being true to your brand.
Mm-hmm.
If you're creating content that's not really representative of your brand, but you're just doing it to get views, people see through that.
Yeah.
So just being true to your brand. So
I've seen times before in videos, I've seen like, oh, there's a cockroach, like this remote control cockroach, and I've probably already said too much, but then it's like, oh, a second later I'm jumping. It was clearly staged. And for me, that's just when I'm like, over it. Like this was kind of a setup situation. Now, you talked about relevancy and emotion. Dean Jonathan is saying laugh tracks are a thing of the past. And for that, Jonathan, we say. I definitely like to use it where I can. You talked about relevancy and emotion. Expand on those a little bit for us.
Awesome. So fidget spinners were trending a few months ago, right?
8 of them.
That's a trend. So many people jumped on that. But the fidget spinner in and of itself alone isn't relevant to me. I care about it because, everyone cares about it. So what is it? But if you can take it a next step further, a good example, Dude Perfect, their audience loves crazy sports tricks and these miraculous trick shots. So they took fidget spinners. Even it was after all the other fidget spinners had happened. They did this video of crazy trick shots, spinning it and throwing it, bouncing, another guy catching it. And it did better because it was relevant to their audience.
Right.
Another example, Skylar mentioned, like with the cats and dogs video, we took cats and dogs a next step further to create something so the viewer was like, that's totally me. So like, oh, that texting dog, that's me at the dinner table, or that's my drunk uncle at the Christmas feast or whatever. We want the
it's funny that everybody can relate to a drunk uncle. That's funny.
And that's
the world we live in, I guess.
Yeah.
Good. But
I
if the
did
viewer can see that,
actually, now that you mention it,
that's funny. So yeah, if the viewer can see it and then immediately think, oh, that's totally me or totally so-and-so, it's relevant to them right then. And that's way more efficient or effective than.
Yeah. At the end of a video, at the end of the video, instead of, your end goal should be, instead of someone saying, oh, that was a good video, someone should be like, oh my gosh, I've got to share this with Johnny. He would love this. That's kind of how we approach video. It's not like, oh, that was amazing. Like, if someone doesn't say, oh my gosh, Jesse has to see this when they're done, we've kind of failed in our purpose, right? So,
and I laugh.
Making it relatable and relevant is so important to the process.
Yeah, we kind of you find out what the conversation is online, and you just throw it in there. So it's relevant to their current conversation. Like, hey, we were just talking about this yesterday. Have you seen this video? Done. They're gonna watch it.
Right.
Now, how do you guys take the content that you're making, and you have, like the realism side of it, and then you have the stuff where you produce it with the animals and things like that. How do you take some of the more realistic content and wrap the brand into it so that it doesn't feel sleazy? You know what I mean? So it doesn't feel that like, hey, we produce this for the sake of that. So it still has that natural feel to it. How do you guys, I mean, I guess that's kind of going with your gut, like you mentioned before, but how do you guys make that marriage between the more, realistic content and matching up the brand as well in there to make sure that it's doing what it's supposed to do?
Yeah, so that one's on a per project basis. Obviously, it's a little tricky because you got to be careful not to brand it too much. Like the John Cena video we talked about earlier. If you look in the background, there's lots of branding going on. But I think the thing that worked with that video is they embraced it.
Mm-hmm.
That the brand embraced it and said, "Hey, we're pranking some fans of John Cena," and so because of that, they were able to put their brand in there. So that's a good example of like a live reaction type video that you're talking about with the brand integrated. With Fresh Pet, because they're not really embracing it, we have to be very careful. And so the idea had to kind of revolve around the product they were trying to sell. So if you look at the commercial, the first shot is food, and it actually looks really good. And just a little side note, we both have tried the food. It is actually really good.
Yeah, I mean dog food.
We do dog food.
You're talking about cat food, right?
Both,
yeah. So that I don't think that having Fresh Pet plaster on the wall would have worked well for 13 Dogs.
Having their logo,
yeah, no, it wouldn't have.
Yeah, a big principle we follow is 100% honesty. So you don't need to lie about it. So if it is a video where it's like, oh, this like the brand has to be in here the whole time, own it properly and inform your audience, but you're getting them to the real reason of the video.
Right. And brands need to understand the video is living on your channel.
Yeah,
a lot of people know where the video is coming from.
And you got to realize the value of that. If I mean, think of Red Bull. The video is about a motocross guy the whole time, but it came from Red Bull's page.
And you remember that.
And I mean, he might be wearing a Red Bull hat or a coat, but like, yeah, there's so much value if you're creating an island for people to come and be entertained. And so it can be a short-term and a long-term strategy of let's keep doing these fun videos. Now they have this relationship with you that wasn't there before.
Yeah, you don't see Red Bull in like motocross. They're not drinking Red Bull.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing too. Like, it's like, oh, we need to get that product shot. He just landed an amazing backflip and naturally going to smile in the glistening sun and drink. No, that's not authentic, right? Just end the video.
Yeah.
And then have that go live or jump out of the stratosphere, right? And then there you have it. So as long as know the value of the island you're creating, and then you can interact with those people there. So as they're commenting and tagging their friends, you jump into that conversation too, and you all of a sudden made your brand a person that they want to connect with and that they trust. So that's a good way to interact.
Incredible information. And if you guys are enjoying the show, we want to invite you to click the share button and share this video with your friends, family members, and colleagues right now and help us get the word out. As we are sort of winding down the hour today, we want to go to your questions, and we've got a few of them lined up right now. So we'd like to get into a little segment that we call Nick's Questions.
All right. The first question is from Rob Reese. Rob asks, how can we tie in viral videos about cats, let's say, and business, let's say, affiliate marketing?
Okay.
Awesome. So that one principle before going on, just because cats go viral doesn't mean that you should do that as well. So if your target demographic is different, I mean, I know that Mountain Dew combined everything they could with their Puppy Monkey Baby commercial that they made. Trying to get this is viral, putting it into one. Things did happen from that. But so I look at honestly, what we would do is go to square one and say, okay, if you want to do something with cats because you think that'd resonate, let's look at the conversation your people are having. And
or the people you want to target.
The people you want to target. Yeah, you don't even have them yet. And like, oh, weird, they're all talking about the upcoming business happening for holiday sales. okay, let's do a video revolving around holiday sales, but it's cats that are facilitating the storyline of the video. I don't know, just this is coming off the hip.
I would be
Sure.
And I would say, make sure that your audience likes cats. So, I mean, just throwing an idea like that together, I want to do cats and affiliate marketing. Well, I mean, how do you know that's going to even work? You need to do some research and make sure your audience likes cats, they like cat videos, and then go from there. So like Bryce was saying, do the research, figure out what they're talking about, and then if cats is a plus, great, throw it in there. It adds even more emotional value to it, right?
Yeah, I love that question. That's a good question because that happens a lot when you're like, oh, this went viral last time. Can we do it with this client? It's like, no, go back to square one.
Always
what is their demographic talking about? And that's forming your skeleton of your idea.
And we have a lot of great ideas. Our audience is sharing a lot of great ideas on how to do that. They're in the comment area, so be sure to check that out. Rob Reese, good to have you here. Next question.
Next question is from Jennifer Zamba. Do you think it's possible to create a viral video without a budget?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
100%.
If that was easy.
If we told you some of the numbers that we spent on some of these videos, it would blow your mind.
You can, yeah.
Out of curiosity, without giving away anything, just throwing a number out there. What type of budget do you guys? Let's say what's the least amount of money that you've spent on a viral video?
500? Yeah,
ballpark. You don't have to hit an exact number, but just a ballpark.
No, it's like 0.
Well, first, as far as ad spend, because we don't do ad spend. No,
producing the video.
Yeah.
0.
It took time, and time is money. So how do you?
Sure.
Yeah.
As far as spending, no, we knew. Which one are you thinking of?
I was thinking like even like husband surprise wife.
Yeah, true. Yeah, just to kind of prove a point, I was excited to have my channel with my wife, the Jergies, because some of our videos there's been no budget at all, and they've popped. And 30 million views on Facebook for one, and we had 600 followers at the time when we did it. And so, yeah, you can budget can help ensure the setting. So that's the tough part. If you have no budget, and you're working on favors and people's time, a lot of times people end up getting the shot and it's kind of what they wanted, and they then have to work with this muck and turn it into gold. But you can do it with no budget, because that's the whole goal, is people sharing this without being paid to.
Yeah, and obviously like surprise videos you can do
better,
a lot cheaper. Some of the scripted pieces that we've done have been up in the 100,000s. So it depends. It depends on what you're doing. If you're doing scripted pieces, your budget's going to be a lot more. If you're doing surprise videos, you can probably do it for next to nothing.
And we've never had videos go under so we guarantee shareable videos when we work with our clients, and so there's a budget to help set up those parameters. Like you have a marketing team involved that doesn't do ad spend to get it placed, and I don't know if I'm going on a tangent here, but once you create the video or as you're conceptualizing, you need to research where are the platforms online where people care about this. So a quick example, our cats and dogs video. Every single online article that's talked about cats or dogs in the last year, let's establish a relationship with that online editor. And so when we create our video, we can share that with them for them to publicize, so then their following gets it. That takes time and man hours and a budget. Also, if you want to guarantee the shot, it's nice having a budget, because then there's no limit to the idea. If there's a little budget, it's like, okay, so we have to film it on a cell phone, and we have to do it illegally because we can't buy a permit.
Yeah, obviously, if you're working with a client or a brand, there are some things that you need to do because it is a commercial. So you can't necessarily just do it for free if it's a branded piece. But if you're doing it on your own and it's a personal video, there's a lot of things you can do.
All it takes is your time.
Yep.
Okay. The next question is from Matthew Furman, who is a magician. He's a street magician. He's done on his YouTube channel. I met him at Vid Summit. He does magic for Justin Timberlake and all these NBA players and stuff. Awesome stuff. Very talented guy. Blew all of our minds at Vid Summit.
Vid Summit. I was.
Oh,
there.
you got. Oh, okay. Oh,
yeah.
okay. So okay. There it is then. He says that he has a video that he released a week ago. He thinks it's viral. It's at 243,000 views in the week. He's gained 7,000 subscribers from it, and he wants to know what should he do now.
That's awesome, man.
It's amazing.
Look at why is it going big? What are people saying in the comments? Mad props, by the way.
Yeah.
Are they talking about the people's reactions? Like, oh, that dude's reaction was hilarious, or that trick was amazing. Whatever it is that you could do relatable content to follow up.
Do some follow-up content. So research and figure out why people liked it. Look at the comments, look at the shares, what are people saying about it, and then do some follow-up content on it. Do another video that's similar or along the same veins of what people really loved about it.
Mm-hmm. And then don't do exactly the same though. Do it similar, but add one of our principles, newness and wow. Exactly. Like
make it different.
You got to add that extra element so that if I'm at dinner conversation, I told people about your magic trick video last week, what gives me reason to talk about it this next week? Because if it's like, yeah, Bryce, you already told us about that. I'm like, no, this time it's different. He added fire. It was crazy.
Yeah.
That gives the reason.
That's great. That's great. All right, we got time for one more question.
Okay, the next question is a specific business-related question, and this is from Carlos Zepeda, and he says, how does going viral translate into generating leads, sales, etc.?
I love this question.
Talking about the money.
That's why we're doing it, right? I mean, you're doing it to get followers or leads. You got to have that end goal in mind. So define what that end goal is, and if it brings warm leads. Anytime someone sees a video that blew up because of you, that's a warm lead, and there's cool things you can do. If they've seen your YouTube video, you can then create a display or pre-roll ad and send it to everyone who has seen your video.
Which is a straight up sales video.
Yeah, and that one's totally promotional. You say exactly what you want, and it's a warm lead.
And people already know who you are, they know your brand, and they've had a warm experience with you, so they're more likely to engage with you at that point. There's something else I was going to say as well about that.
While you're thinking about it, you could create a landing page that's funny that goes along with the script of your video that's weird, and like that's an actual website, and they go there, and then you pixel them, and so there you get a lead.
The other thing too is we have a few case studies where we've actually driven website traffic through some of these videos by 4,000%. So it works.
Mm-hmm.
It just
and that's a big
website
that was already getting tons
huge
of
brand. Yeah. So
and that's all in our ebook and our website, howthingsgoviral.com as well, of some of these case studies.
That is awesome. That's all the time we have. I know we've got a few more questions still happening in the comment section. So Skylar and Bryce, we want to invite you guys to jump into the comment section, continue the conversation. Guys, keep asking your questions. Just because we're out of time does not mean we're out of conversation. Before we go, Bryce and Jurgi, how do we stay? I know you just said the website. Say it one more time. How do we stay in touch with you guys?
Yeah, howthingsgoviral.com.
And then if you go to howthingsgoviral.com, there's an ebook you can download, and then you can also join our Facebook page.
Yeah, it gives you a link to our Facebook page.
We have a community, and we discuss all things viral.
It's an awesome community. There's no dumb questions. You can share ideas that you're coming up with or feedback, and everyone's there to help.
We're all figuring it out together. So
that's awesome. So good to have you guys on the show.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Really enjoyed today's content, and we hope that you guys will come and join us again. Thank you guys for joining us on the Business of Video podcast. Remember, you can go to the businessofvideopodcast.com. The lower third has been up the whole time because the lower third section is stuck. But we thank you guys for joining us. Go to the website, sign up, and we will see you next time.
Thank you for listening to the Business of Video podcast. If you like the show, give us a review on iTunes or share this episode on social media now. Join us next time on Facebook Live. Just visit businessofvideopodcast.com and subscribe to the newsletter updates. This podcast is brought to you by Tuber Tools and BizTubeAcademy.com.